In the second half of this lesson, we're going to model the wheel hub for our rotor. We're going to achieve the exact same method using the exact same set of geometry. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a pipe. Then we'll rotate it on the x-axis to 90 degrees. In the pipe settings, we're going to increase the radius just a bit. We can switch to wireframe view to get more of a visual on how big we want the pipe. Now let's increase the thickness a bit. Now let's increase our height. I'll switch to our perspective view. We'll make it wide enough to expand the back side of the wheel hub, kind of matching the rotor. I think 10 should be fine. All right, let's work on the subdivision axis. Right now it's set to 20, but just like we did with the rotors, we're going to go ahead and increase it to 72 for now. We might change it because it's a separate piece. Okay, let me just hide the wheel and tire. We're going to switch to our move tool and just push the wheel hub in front of the rotor. Now, because this is a separate piece, we can lower the subdivisions to save some polys. So we're going to go ahead and set it to 36. Let's switch to our edges mode and double click on one of the front edges, which is going to select all of the edges next to it. We'll scale it down a bit, maybe halfway. Yeah. We'll switch to vertex mode and we'll move our front vertices back. This should be good. Now let's switch to our faces and we're going to select all of the faces on the back and extrude it back by simply holding shift and just moving it back. Not going to make it too thick. All right, now select the top faces, selecting one face and then double clicking the next face. And we'll extrude this by hitting Control E. We'll increase the thickness, say around 2.2. Nice. Now we'll just take our move tool and just line it up with the rotor. Now we can make some alterations using your own judgment. I'm going to switch to edges mode and I'm just going to scale some of these edges up a bit. I'll do the same with these edges here. All right, let's grab some more edges on the back of the hub. So we'll double click on the inside edges, then the outside, and we're just going to move them inside the hub. If you look at the reference image that I'm using here, you can see how the back of the hub is pushed in, but it has the same contour along the edges, which is kind of what we're about to achieve. Let's also grab the edges on the front as well, and we'll push them forward just a bit. That looks better. Like that. Okay, now we'll move the inside edge close to the front. Yeah, we'll do the same to the back edges, not too close, since we're going to be adding more edge loops. All right, let's grab our Insert Edge Loop tool, and we're going to add some edge loops here. Add one here at the top, and we'll add one here. Also going to add one at the end of the outside edge. We'll move around here and add two more at the top. One here, add one here, and one here near the front, one here, and last one here. I swear I am not addicted to these edge loops. And with a quick smooth mesh preview, this is what we have. Awesome. We're almost there. Next, we're going to make a simple bolt or a lug nut, nothing too detailed. So let's create a cylinder. And we'll set the X rotation to 90 degrees. I'll turn on the wireframe just to move this up towards the edge of the wheel hub. Let's decrease the radius a bit. Then we'll move our object forward. Now in the subdivision caps, we're going to set it to 2. And let's decrease the height a bit. Don't want to make it too big or too small. It's perfectly fine to let it overlap the wheel head. I think 0.3 should work. Well, let's move it down a bit, lining it up with the center right here. We may need to increase the radius a bit more, so let's set it to 0.5. Perfect. And we'll just push the object in just a little bit. And guess what? We're adding some edge loops. That's right. So let's add some along the edges right here. And let's give it a smooth mesh preview. All right, looks good. Now we're going to follow the same task that we did with the ventilation louvers and duplicate it around the wheel hub. So let's move our gizmo down to the center. And we're going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special, clicking on the options box. I only want to make maybe 9 to 10 lug nuts around the wheel hub. So on the rotate Z axis here, we'll set it to 36, actually negative 36. And we're going to make 9 copies. And then click Apply. And there we have it. Perfect symmetry. Look at that. Wow. Close this out. Now let's select all of the lug nuts here. And we're going to go to Mesh. Then Combine. Then we'll clean up the outliner by deleting the history. And since this will be the same color, we can just combine the wheel hub with the lug nuts. So we'll select those, Mesh, and Combine. And of course, delete the history. And let's go ahead and rename it. It's called a wheel hub, but just name it whatever you want. And if we smooth this, you see everything is looking good. This could have been done as one whole object, but I am making this wheel hub gold, while the main rotor will have more of an aluminum scratched look to it. And it's also going to have its own specific texture. And if I unhide my tire and wheel, you can see everything lines up together. I'm also going to group these pieces together just to clean up the outliner. Control G to group, and we'll give it a name. And we'll just move this back just a bit. And this is how you build a brake disc or rotor for your vehicle. The cool thing is you only need to build one. Then you can just apply like a symmetry modifier for the other side of the car and just duplicate them for the back of the car. So we are done with this portion of our 3D modeling lesson here in Maya. Keep a lookout for my next series on building a custom brake calipers to really set this up to look as authentic as it needs to be. Thank you all so much for watching this 2-part series. I'm Isaac Justice. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas on what I should make next, feel free to contact me via Instagram or email. This is the Fusion Pipeline, bringing you a pipeline full of alternative talents. I'll see you soon.